What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action spawning in the top of the map. Playing as Isis. His name is Kimo. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is TheRapl. The map is Null Shallows. It's another game. It's another you. It's another me. These are two of the absolute best players playing Age of Mythology retold in the current era. TheRapl, obviously, one of the pupils of the Mr. and Kimo, getting rank 1 at will, basically, at the moment. Whenever he feels like being rank 1, he will be there. So both players really at the top of their game. I think sorry, not Kimo. I think TheRapl here is also like rank 1 or 2 as well, consistently. So literally on the ladder, these guys seem nigh untouchable. Relics on the map here, we do have the skulls of Serapis here. I love that one. Serapis here. Over here, we've got that Bridle of Pegasus, another really nice one to just get that line of sight going. We've got the Black Lotus down the bottom to boost the farm gather rate. This relic, you really shouldn't overlook this one. Especially if you're going to be going for any sort of boomy plays where you might need to stick it out a little bit longer in the classical age. It's really, really good for that. Also for any other portion of the game as well. But nonetheless, I have Horus also on the map. So some very, very nice relics. I have Horus plus Isis. That can be brutal. You can go up to, what is it, 250, 262 population with 3 town centers, fortified town centers, and that relic. That's insane with Isis. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring you this recorded game was I caught a glimpse of it on a certain stream yesterday, and it was an absolute banger. Now, recently, everyone knows how good Isis is. Like, not recently, but Isis has been arguably one of the best gods for probably the entirety of Retold's existence thus far. Part of it, her strength is the fact that you've got a lot of resources in your base, so you can actually execute very, very specific builds, which are nigh unstoppable. Though a lot of those have been tuned down over the past patches, but Isis is still kind of sitting at the top. A god that I feel like has sort of flown close to the sun in recent patches due to a certain strength of god power in Chaos has since been tuned down. I think this god here, Oranos, is arguably also sitting at that league of strength. The difference being that Oranos takes quite a bit more, suffice it to say, skill to play at the top level. Funnily enough, it's a lot of people watch the Atlanteans and go, hey, they've got half the economy, so it's a lot more simple to play them. But in actuality, no, this god is actually quite challenging. You have a lot of not passive abilities. You've got a lot of active abilities you got to take usage of. For example, Sky Passage. You've got a lot of Shockwave to use. You've got sort of the Chaos or sort of God Power is sort of another active god power, but you need to use it very specifically. There's a lot of knowledge needed to have success with this god, as we are seeing TheRapl already dropping himself the Sky Passage. Going to be wandering over onto this position to drop another Sky Passage. Arguably, I think the walking time here is maybe a little bit less than the 60 seconds of idle time the citizens had, but nonetheless, this is really, really safe. Now, there's not going to be any way for Kimo to put any sort of stoppage onto this, as we do see the Carnivora as Osiris gets queued up, and Bast coming through here for Kimo as well. As Kimo's going to be going for a far second down center as well. It looks like he's going to be moving to the center of the map immediately here. TheRapl, unfortunately, does not have any sort of line of sight over on this position. He's got the Caladria flying into the main base just to see what's going on. He sees no villagers on gold, no real villagers on food either, so, and a lot of gold actually gone there. So you can make a bit of a guess as to where your opponent or what your opponent's doing. It's definitely a town center. For those of you playing at home, when you see this much gold gone at this point, that's 1,000 gold already gone at 5 minutes into the game. So definitely a town center. But where is it going to be? Not on this side here. It's on this side. So nonetheless, he's also getting his own second town center, which is coming in a relatively quick fashion here. It's a very, very similarly timed town center, but this is going to be going into the boomy universe here. Both players having that boom on. We see a counter barracks getting dropped down, an economic guild getting dropped down for TheRapl as well. Now, in this position, when your opponent gets that forward town center like this here, as Kimo has, you've really got to start thinking about whether or not a mid-game power spike is going to be enough to win the game. And if it's not, then you have to start thinking about, okay, well, how am I going to beat the sort of mythic age power spike that's going to come through for Isis, whether that be with Meteor or Thoth, or if it's that going to be with Osiris. Now, the more I play or the more I see, Thoth is not a threat to Oranos in the slightest. Oranos has got Oceanus Catapultes with Empyrean Speed. And these two upgrades here, or these two things, plus 10%, plus over here, I believe this is also 10%. It might even be 15%. It's 10% speed. So you're getting plus 20% speed onto these 4.5 speed Catapultes. All of a sudden, they're faster than the Chariot Archer. They're not quite as fast as the Camel Rider, but they're quick enough to sort of deal with them. And also you've got Chaos potentially to lock them in place and absolutely erase them. So the Migdol-based army of Isis gets very much shut down by Oranos' god powers and Oranos' strengths with this Catapulte unit. So there's got to be a different way there for the Isis player to go. Now, if the Isis player does decide to go through Osiris, however, all of a sudden that Son of Osiris is a big problem, because while the Catapulte is very quick, very good against the units that your opponent's going to be building, has low base damage, which means it's not going to be able to take out that Son of Osiris very quickly, and life's going to be a little bit challenging for you. So we'll see which route TheRapl's going to go in order to try and deal with this, and what Kimo's going to do to try and combat it. Both very, very difficult things to sort of deal with in this matchup. Now, we are seeing a third town center relatively quick here for TheRapl. I mean, in the grand scheme of the fastest third town centers I've ever seen, this is a little bit behind the 8-ball for Atlanteans, but it's still going to be nice and quick here. And what it does do is it really slows down any sort of ability to deny Migdol strongholds. So if Kimo sees this happening, which it looks like he's got no idea at the moment, a bit surprised not to see those obelisks over on this position. Yes, the Catapulte has come around and started clearing this all out. But if Kimo sees this, then all of a sudden he's going to be happy to just say, all right, well, I'll throw a Migdol up here, or I'll throw a Migdol up here and secure my town center, or, whatever he really feels like. At this point. But we've also got Hyperion coming through as well now for TheRapl, as both players just deciding, all right, it's teching Tuesday today, and we're just gonna make it happen. But we've also got another technology coming in, Frontline Heroics. I was talking about the Weightless Mace and Empyrean Speed, but this is another relic which is going to be really, really helping TheRapl out in this game with dealing with things like Ancestors Eclipse. We're already seeing things coming through. How many units does TheRapl actually have out here, as the Ancestors Eclipse will be coming down, and TheRapl will have to start retreating away from this position. He's got sky passages everywhere. So in actuality, unlike against every other Civ, this really doesn't have that much effectiveness. TheRapl can literally just teleport up onto this position and be completely safe from all of this, all of these shenanigans. He can even drop another sky passage over here to try and retreat away from this, but he is keeping his citizens alive thus far. Hasn't lost any at the moment. As the citizens drop out elsewhere, sky passage goes down, but no real significant... Oh, one citizen going down here, so some damage happening for the time being. Another citizen looks like it might get sniped down, as TheRapl not paying attention. Can be difficult to sort of deal with all of this. Meanwhile, over on this position as well, the Scorpion Men and minions do come through here. There's still going to be 20-ish seconds left of Eclipse after all of this is said and done for the Scorpion Men to try and find a villager kill. Now, there is a hero citizen over here, funnily enough, that can come over and start shanking down the Scorpion Men, but the Scorpion Men is, with the Eclipse, is going to be winning this fight. Though I'm sure that TheRapl's going to be able to notice that. Pulls his citizen away, brings in the rest of the units. The Caladria is in to heal that citizen back up, and all of this pressure has now been dealt with. But behind all of this, Kimo's now got himself a Migdol Stronghold, starting to make some Chariot Archers. Another Migdol Stronghold is going to be coming up. So he's securing this position nicely. He's got a monument to the soldiers here as well to prevent any sort of god powers. And we'll see where to next in this game, as TheRapl on the front here. No Sky Passage on this position is a little bit risky, as the Chariot Archers going to be coming in to look for somewhat of a raid on this position, and he's going to get just a little bit more damage done, though there are still some units out for the TheRapl to start fighting. And while TheRapl has queued up, we changed Hyperion into Thea here. While TheRapl has queued up the Thea, he's not actually close to this. He is pumping units out. He's getting his upgrades. He's getting that weightless mace in. The Catapulti here is now at 4.8 speed. It's about to go up to 5 point something speed. I don't know. We'll see what it is. As the Terma on this side here going to be getting taken down as well. And TheRapl going to look to swing back in at some point and try and deal with these units. I mean, he does have Shockwave. He does have Carnivora. We got that Sky Passage up onto this position here as well, and he is simply just going to retreat back. He can pull in over here, jump up onto this gold mine. He can pull over onto this gold mine. There's just so many different areas of the map for TheRapl to be. Meanwhile, Kimo starting to secure this position. He's got to just take the game slowly. Obviously, the Oranos player can be kind of anywhere on the map at one point, as the Carnivora gets dropped down immediately here, attempting to deny the talent, and it does manage to do so, as Kimo is now just about to be able to click up to the Mythic Age. He chooses Thoth here. He misclicks Thoth. He chooses Osiris here. Okay. Misclicks Thoth. I mean, Thoth is enticing, but like I was saying earlier, I just don't see Thoth beating Catapulti's Terma any day of the week, unless you can get out the Axeman as well, I guess. There's the Citizen there. Nice snipe by Kimo as he's going to be pulling away. Now look at the speed of these bad boys. 5.8 speed now as that final technology comes through. And all of a sudden, 6-speed Camel Rider, 5-speed Chariot Archer. These Catapultis, you can't shoot and scoot. They're just going to be on you, and it's going to be a very, very challenging position. Now, with TheRapl choosing to go through Thea, he does lose out, as we do see a bit of a shockwave here. TheRapl wants to get some damage done at this point. He's going to get a lot done here, though he will have to retreat back out. But like I was saying, if you go through Thea here, these Hero Catapultis, as good as they are, they're missing out on just a little bit of technology in Heroic Renewal. But you do have the Caladria. If you can get enough of those out, you can just heal those units back up. And it's kind of like you're not missing out on all too much there. But Thea does bring in two very important things. Now, one is not so important for the immediate, but the other is very important for the immediate, which is super strong Contarius. And what do Contarius do? Well, they're not going to be able to kill off sort of Osiris Camel Riders, but you have the Catapulti to deal with that. But they will be an answer to Son of Osiris. So we'll see if TheRapl is going to be able to get those Contarius out and get in and deal with the Son of Osiris, or if it's going to be just too much, as both players just jockeying for position at the moment. Kimo's still kind of struggling. He's on 2 talents and he's at 70 villages. He's now in the Mythic Age. He is behind the 8 ball on economy in a big way at this moment. As copper weapons, copper armor coming through. We've got that Migdol Stronghold getting dropped down into the middle of the map there, as well as the Son of Osiris going to start wandering to the left here. Got a mana getting sniped down there, as well as the Oracles starting to come out for TheRapl. He's got himself 8 Oracles now as well. And this is really, really good for him because he needs a lot of favor for those upgrades. But also, after the upgrades, what is he really going to be using that favor on? Well, he's got the Hesperus tree. He's also got Shockwave. He's also got Carnivora. So these gold powers are going to be able to come through quite a bit. But Kimo's also got himself his own god power protection, which is a big deal. Now, the question is here, should TheRapl go in and try and fight this while these units are out of position? Part of me feels like he should, because they don't have any upgrades just yet. Yes, there's now the Champion Camel Riders. That Desert Wind upgrade is going to be coming through as well. There's no Champion Chariots for the moment. He's got the Shockwave just about to come off cooldown, 10 seconds remaining, as we see a Monument to the Pharaohs coming down. And TheRapl's timing here is coming to a very, very crisp close with that monument getting empowered up onto this position. All of a sudden, no shockwave to open up the Son of Osiris, and the units aren't going to be able to get in there. As Kimo drops down, is that his second? No, that's his first prosperity. He's got 35 villagers on gold. Migdol Stronghold now coming up over here as well. And with this monument empowered for the moment, look at that gold power protection range. That's quite a bit. It is quite a bit indeed, as the champion camel riders getting sniped down as they're trying to roam around looking for raids. We've got ourselves a catapult coming out as Kimo is trying to force TheRapl to fight him underneath this position. I really like this siege attempt from Kimo, but you know, TheRapl's army at this point, arguably, as he does click up through Hecate, I love this idea. We'll get into it a little bit later why, but the hero catapulties here absolutely dominate this fight. Even though he's only hero or heavy hero catapulties, not champion, these units will absolutely carve through this army. The question is, can he kill off the Son of Osiris as well, or can he actually get through behind all of the garrison micro that you can do with the chariot archers on this spot? As the town center almost about to go down, and TheRapl says, all right, it's time to fight. He will be losing the town center, it looks like, as the army charges forward. Those camel riders going to be pulling back as the catapulties will be able to snipe down the catapults here. The mummy gets cleaned up very, very quickly as the army pushes through onto this position, not able to use his god powers because of that monument here, as the Son of Osiris is cleaning up very, very heavily in this fight. But the chariot arch is getting chased down here beautifully as they are all getting mowed down by these speedy catapulties. You can even the non-hero ones are at 5.4 speed, which is still faster than those chariot archers here. They're such a good unit, but Kimo holds for the time being. TheRapl forced to take a fight there, which he probably didn't want to, but nonetheless, he trades nicely. Town Center going to be coming back up, and you can see that his army resource value, even though population-wise is a bit behind, it's still better than Kimo's at the moment. Yes, that Son of Osiris is huge. That's the problem unit. But now is the question is, can you start making Contarius? And TheRapl says yes. He's already got himself the Poseidon secret technology, so those Contarius are cheap. He's getting himself heavy cavalry as well. And another push through here with all of those camel riders sort of dispersed with, TheRapl is able to actually make this transition really, really nicely here. And he's continuing to make hero units to try and break through. We are now seeing the Axemen coming through, as this is the correct response to all of these catapulties is going to be Axemen at this point, but we'll see if this army can push through. TheRapl, he's still very far away from his full population. He might just want to wait for 235. Kimo as well is getting very, very close to his own 250 here, but resource-wise, very, very difficult amount of gold here. It looks like his villagers are moving around the map or idle for the moment. He needs to find some more gold mines as he does get the mining camp up, and he's going to be ready to go, but this will allow TheRapl to get some more units up. He's deciding to get some Arcus, as, I mean, he must have seen those heavy axemen. There's only 4 of them, but Arcus are, I'd say they're kind of useless against the Migdol army, but they're really, really good against the Son of Osiris. They get a lot of damage done from range, and that can be enough. He's already got himself heavy archers here as well, sitting at 7 pierce damage per second versus that 64% pierce armor. Still going to take a while to take it out, but this is going to be a good fight now for TheRapl to take again, as the army for Kimo looks to have been effectively hard counted here for this next fight. The Dryads also coming through, bulking up this army. The Arcus trying to target down the Son of Osiris there, does manage to do so nicely, as those Contarius, there's not any good answer for them. There are a handful of those camel riders coming through as well, as the army pushes in. Son of Osiris is now down to 1/3 of its HP, as those Contarius trying to swing around here to finish this one off, and he does manage to get it down and kills it off. A huge win now for TheRapl, as the fight is going to start becoming very, very difficult for the Isis without having access to that Son of Osiris. He will be able to get himself the favor for another Son of Osiris, or get himself out mummies, as he does decide to do. And now these mummies can actually turn this fight in a really big way. But Kimo does miss micro that one, sends it right into the front there. Got some Kontarius swinging around onto the right-hand side as Kimo is in a lot of trouble. Pushing forward, villagers are going to be going down on this side. The mummy is back in and gets a huge vomit onto those heavy Arcus, though there's not really any DPS to come in and finish those bad boys off there. I'm not sure if the mummy actually does enough damage to kill off an Arcus with its special. I don't think, maybe it does. There it does. There, a couple of minions do end up coming out, but they'll get sniped down very, very quickly, as it looks to me like TheRapl may be ever so slightly overstaying his welcome on this position, but he's going to continue to push forward. He's still spamming units out in this heroic age, as the Mummy Visor coming through here, trying to do a little something on this position. Mummy Visor will end up going down. The Dryads coming in. These things, there's not any heroes in at the moment to deal with them, so the Dryads are absolutely huge. TheRapl, on the other hand, he's keeping his resources very, very low. He's pushed Kimo back in a big way, and now TheRapl has to start thinking about, well, where do I actually get value with this advantage? Kimo's economy is still fine. It's at 96 villages. So just taking fights and killing units here, this is all well and good, but he needs to find some serious value somewhere on the map, whether that's kill off this town center, come up here and kill this town center, pushing into the main base, a little bit risky because the fortified town center and those watchtowers there to help get DPS. But at the moment, TheRapl just hanging out in the center of the map. He does have some pushing power with the Kontarius, but he's sending them off to raid. There are some camel riders here with the catapulties to help out, but there's not enough units there to kind of hold on. Meanwhile, Kimo's also got himself boiling oil in this game, so his defenses are looking very, very nice. And we'll see where to next here for TheRapl, as it looks to me like Kimo has basically stabilized. He's also pumping out one camel caravan per every 15 seconds, right? So he's going to be getting even more economy in this game. Remember, he's got that 250. He's left. Really? Of all the relics to leave on the ground, is that one of them? I don't think so. Nonetheless, does he know it's there? He does know it's there. Okay. Well, nonetheless. TheRapl now has definitely overstayed his welcome. The army is now coming through. I think TheRapl can actually turn around on this one. There are a lot of priests on the back there to start sniping down Dryads and the lot here, as the Kontarius pushes through to try and take out the Pharaoh on the back here. And I love this army composition from TheRapl with the Oranos, just on the fact that it's like, what do you build if you're Isis? You need to get counter archers somehow, so whether that be camel riders, spear, slinger, maybe chariot archers could be. I mean, I don't know if chariot archers are even maybe they are the right move. They don't have more ranges. There's no sort of a bonus range, but I think you just have to make slinger here to try and deal with the Arcus. You need to make axemen to deal with the catapulties, and I guess you can make the camel riders as well, which your opponent is kind of wanting you to make, as we are seeing the raid coming over here, but the camel riders are in to defend, and look at the damage coming through from these bad boys. Now it's 16 hack damage per second. That's 32 hack damage at this point. I mean, sure, the Kontarius has got 14.9, but these camel riders are hitting like an absolute truck at this point. That being said, the catapulties do way more damage, 8.3 times 4. So yeah, this is a very, very technical battle here in terms of unit compositions. As Kimo now back up onto this position, we are now seeing Hecate coming through. As now we're going to start talking about something that TheRapl can do right now. Third Hesperid's tree can come down, and when he hits the Mythic Gauge, he's going to have access to 2 upgrades that are really, really good. Celerity and Mythic Rejuvenation. Mythic Rejuvenation, obviously 2 HP per myth unit. That's for your Dryads. And then you've also got that Celerity, which is boosted attack speed and speed for your myth units as well. So all of a sudden, you get yourself 15 Dryads out with super speed and HP regen, and your opponent goes, wow, these are not only free population units, but they're also mythic age strength free population myth units, basically, without any costing of population. And I think that's the plan going forward here for TheRapl, to kind of give him the edge in the late game, as the catapult going to be moving forward, try and take out the town center over here. Some destroyers coming up onto this position to take out the Migdol stronghold on this location, as well as taking out this trade route is going to be pretty brutal. Kimo, he's finished up on the gold mine over there. He's struggling for gold at the moment, but he is at full population here. As those Archers are able to take down a lot of the Axemen quickly, but a couple of mummies here is a big deal. Those Camel Riders coming through as well. Meanwhile, up onto this position now, where the Migdol stronghold is getting taken down. As do we see a Tartarian gate? Answer is yes. Here it comes. You don't get to see this one all too often, but I'll tell you, it's not a weak building here. It's not a weak god power. It can get a lot of economic damage done if your opponent is not prepared for it. We do see a catapult over here, but the Tartarian spawns look like they're ready to defend their home here, as that one's going to get cleaned up. Meanwhile, over on this side, now a couple of raids coming in. See some Fanatics to come through. I mean, I don't mind the Fanatics if your opponent's making some sort of like Spearmen, but I just think you just keep making Catapulties here. But we're seeing the Migdol stronghold getting taken down. A bit of a shockwave to try and keep the Tartarian gate alive as well. Expensive shockwave there. TheRapl is still holding this favor in the bank for this third Hesperus tree. Might not have thought about it just yet, but a Carnivora getting placed down on the front position here. That's going to get cleaned up very, very quickly. And you can see how long this is lasting, how many villagers are kind of getting pulled and getting idled. The double Pharaoh and Priest getting idled on this spot, as well as TheRapl has taken down the third town center of Kimo. Kimo's at 225 pop. TheRapl's at 235 pop. So 10 pop difference. But there's the third Hesperidge tree, was it? There it is. 1, 2, 3. But TheRapl's got 15 Dryads. Or 45 population worth of potential myth unit to be creating. Now, he's yet to get himself the upgrades through Hecate. He's got to wait on that, on the resources, I guess. They're kind of pricey, are they? 150 gold. No, they're actually not that pricey at all. 200 gold, 150 gold. That's only 350 gold. Sure, the favor is pricey, but that's going to come in no time. He's only got 5 oracles, but that's still enough considering he's not really going to be spending favor on a whole lot anymore in this game. Maybe Lampedes aren't a terrible idea after you get the upgrades for those as well. But nonetheless, the Dryads are in. They're helping out in a big way. Champion, infantry, champion, archers are in as well for TheRapl. Kimo's got himself his town center back up. It's up to 230 population at the moment here. As those chariot archers here are still looking very, very strong, because, I mean, TheRapl has to be fairly conscientious of how he engages onto these, as he needs to get the catapulties through before they actually die. So he needs a healthy mass of them to get onto the chariot archers to get the win where that's concerned. But he's going to be pulling back for the time being. And we'll see where to next. There's one destroyer, King Destroyer, coming in to try and take out the Migdol stronghold all by his lonesome. This Migdol stronghold is hitting like a truck, though. Is this... This boiling oil doesn't do hack damage, right? Palace enables a melee attack. It does pierce. Yeah, okay. Never mind. So the Destroyer will survive for a while there. I think it might kill off the at least with another one coming in, it will kill off that Migdol. But at the moment now, we've kind of entered into a little bit of a stalemate. But Mummy Visor's coming through. These things are so good, but we already see TheRapl with the hero Arcus and Kimo with no significant micro onto those Mummy Visors. They are all going to get picked off as the Dryads swinging in onto this position. These things still no up. There's the Mythic Rejuvenation to come through, as all of a sudden these bad boys are going to get a decent amount of HP back in this in these fights moving forward. Shockwave there onto the chariot archers for another time in this game, as the destroyers coming through in an attempt to take out the forward town center. And TheRapl is in a league of his own at the moment, it seems. Kimo barely able to hold on against this insane pressure that is exerting out for the entirety of the game, it seems. The Destroyers take out the town, so that's the second time this town center has been cleaned. Now TheRapl can send some citizens in, drop a palace down, secure this town center for himself, and then not only having the Dryad advantage, but also everything else, as we also see the Destroyers coming in to soak up damage from those Chariot Archers as he's trying to pull back. We've also got on the back here, mark it up for TheRapl. If we take a quick look at his perspective, he's got a gold mine over here. He's got a gold mine over here. So he does have enough gold here to continue this push without needing to overcommit too heavily onto the Llama Caravans, but he's pushing through into these Migdol strongholds yet again. A lot of bonus damage coming in from those defenses there for Kimo. TheRapl hasn't made any attempt to get in onto this spot just yet, but he is struggling for resources ever so slightly in the wood department. Just to double check economically, both players are at nearly full upgrades. No carpenters there for Kimo, but TheRapl is full. Wait. Yes, TheRapl is fully upgraded for his own economy as another Carnivora getting dropped down, but immediately gets cleaned up there as more units are just piling into this position, trying to get good trades, but at the moment, it's looking like it's fairly close as TheRapl did lose a mana, but he gets that one back up somewhere. He is going for raids onto this trade route. This is the big important part to be attacking here for TheRapl at this moment. Reason being is that's all Kimo has. Kimo's got no gold villages left. It's just camel caravans in this game. As the mummies getting even more damage done over here, we will be seeing these units now retreating back. And now Kimo can start thinking about grabbing his third town center back again here, as those Arcus here is going to try and take out the Mummy Visor. Let's see if he can take out the Mummy Visor on the back as well. So the Destroyers trying to break through. And we'll see the Mummy Visor getting cleaned up as those Contarius Destroyers pulling back. Fanatics are here as well to turn around and sort of continue this fight. But it looks like Kimo is stabilized yet again, as we do see a Prophetic Sight coming through for TheRapl to get himself a little bit more favor income. I still don't think he's gotten Celerity in. Yeah, still no Celerity. For some reason, these things are affected by ballistics. Do they have a range? They got 0.5 range, that's why. They don't have any range damage, though. Wait, does this unit also affected by ballistics? No. That's weird, then. Not sure what that's for. Maybe the Dryads have got, like, a special ability or something. Like an animation, a hidden animation. Any sort of tech-savvy viewer out there want to go in and check the Dryad for any extra animations? Maybe you'll find something fun. As those Contarius continuing to break through onto this position. Kimo trying to micro back. He does manage to hold sort of yet again, but the town center was denied. Destroyers getting some good value here, but it looks like TheRapl floating full population. Kimo is dropping in this position here. What else can Kimo do? I mean, he's got all of the trade in the world right now. His food, he's got 48 actual villages. The rest are on caravans at the moment. He's got no income, as this has got to be the reason why TheRapl has managed to break through. TheRapl is still on nearly no resources. He's starting to float some gold, but not a big deal. Kimo's got nothing left in the tank as TheRapl's score is starting to get into astronomical numbers. And what else can Kimo do at this point? Migdol Stronghold getting taken down. The Fire Siphon rolling up here to take out these markets as well, to shut down the entirety of the gold income. Kimo losing camel caravans left, right, and center here, ladies and gentlemen. as his gold is very hard stuck. It looks like at 67. No caravans are making it through here. TheRapl is also cleaning up the markets. Even this one going to get denied as well, as TheRapl, all he can do at this moment is sell for resources, sell for gold, and even then it's probably not worth much. Well, food, it's worth a lot, but he doesn't have any food in the bank. Spearman starting to come out in an attempt to deal with these champion Contarius, but it is too little, too late. TheRapl is in a commanding position. He's getting himself the 4th town center here as well. Fire Siphon rolling through to try and take out the Migdol stronghold. We see the full iron upgrades basically for TheRapl. Kimo, on the other hand, does he have full iron as well? Nope, he does not. And in the end here, Kimo taps out, and TheRapl shows how to Oranos in 2025. This was one of the best played Oranos games I think I've seen thus far. This guy is on another level, it looks like. But just the ability to kind of teleport around the map with these sky passages, but more importantly, the army composition sort of decision making was just so on point from TheRapl. He goes, you're building Camel Rider Chariot Archer? No worries, I'm going to build Catapulty Terma. All right, now you're mixing in Axeman. Great, I'm already there. I'm making Contarius. He's one step ahead of Kimo for this entirety of this game. And then once you get to this Contarius, Catapulty sort of composition with some Terma, Destroyers also coming out, you have like the question for the ISIS player is, oh, how do I beat this army? There's not really a fantastic option aside from myth units. If he can get out the myth units and clean up any sort of heroes, maybe he's in for it. But then again, the favor is just so good for the Oranos that, you know, even you saw the mummies. If you controlled the mummies a little bit better, I'm sure he would have had a better time of it. But TheRapl, too strong in this one. Taking out the post game as well. You see this military resource value. It's every single fight, it seems, in this game. TheRapl was effectively winning with the exception of this moment here. And this does actually allow Kimo back into this game. I think if TheRapl didn't lose this fight here after he hit 4th age, after all of that sort of overcommitment, maybe in the center of the map, and just went to the corners and secured those, there would have been no way back into this game for Kimo. But then, even then, Kimo just could not hold after all the pressure, the Tartarian Gate, the everything else. Even though he kind of recovered, he just was not able to stay there. And TheRapl gets the dub. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.